Welcome to the Real About Real Estate podcast with Michelle Hayward. Get the latest information meant for buyers and sellers straight from real people in the industry.
Thank you so much for joining me today in my podcast where we're talking about something that is very beneficial and of interest to many buyers that I come across and sellers too, quite honestly. And that is the discussion of home warranties. So, the question here today that we'll be discussing is you don't need a home warranty, or do you? So we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. And my guest, Heather Darren from Choice Warranty, Home Warranty rather, is here with me. And I'm so glad that she decided to join me today. Hello, Heather. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm sure the viewers will love to hear everything that you have to say. And we'll just kind of get right into it. So relax, first of all, get comfortable. This will be, again, very conversational, very lighthearted. And, we're just going to be really raw and authentic. So again, just feel at home here. So let's just go ahead and segue right into it and talk a little bit more about home warranty. So, what is a home warranty and the advantages of it?
Well, first, I want to say thank you for inviting me. I really do appreciate the
Oh, thank
invite.
you.
And since I live, breathe, and love home warranty, it's an honor to have an opportunity to share great things about warranty. So I'm sorry, tell me the first question again.
Oh, that's okay. So, we just want to know a little bit more about what a home warranty is and the advantages of it.
Yeah, sure. So, the easiest way to define the home warranty is that it is an insurance policy that protects your most commonly used kitchen and home appliances and systems against breakdown or repair for normal wear and tear. And I think the most important thing I always want to share with people is that this is different than your homeowner's insurance, and it also covers many things that homeowners insurance does not cover. Most homeowners insurance policies don't protect against breakdowns or normal wear and tear. And so that's a really important piece. The advantage to having a home warranty, or the benefit to having a home warranty, is that your AC units, your refrigerators, your stoves, your plumbing, all of that stuff is used every day in the home.
Hmm.
And after a certain period of time, just like anything, even when you do maintenance on it, even if you buy the most high quality of X, Y, or Z appliance, they still get old and
Oh.
they still break down at times. And so it's a money preserving tool for something that's inevitably going to happen. And for example, uh, I think this was 2 years ago. I had a pool in my old home, and the pool pump broke. And pool pumps are rather expensive to fix, so it was about $1,200
Ooh,
just for the pump
expensive.
itself. Yeah, really expensive. And so, when I filed the claim with the warranty, I paid $75 and they came and they fixed it for the $75. So,
Nice.
real simple math, 1,200 or 75.
Right. Say I would err on the side of the less expensive too, as most of
Yeah.
us would. Well,
Yeah,
thank
and it
you for sharing that. I'm sorry. Did you
sure.
did you have something else you wanted to add to that?
I was just gonna say, and it actually paid for, like, the whole premium for the year.
Okay.
Like, I got in that year, and actually almost over the law of averages, in my own personal experience of having a warranty on my own home, it's always, like, across the years paid for itself. Because,
I
like, you may have
completely
yeah, like, you may
completely
have
agree.
1 year where it's, like, you have $2,500 or $3,000 in
Mhm.
claims. So it's really helpful to have that for that reason.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I just think about my own personal experiences of times when I had a home warranty and times where I didn't, and I wish I had a home warranty. So you're talking about thousands of dollars in some cases, some cases maybe hundreds, but definitely in the thousands. And if you can save by having a home warranty, is certainly more beneficial than not having it. So again, thank you for answering that for me.
Sure.
So the next thing that I get asked the question of is who has to pay for the home warranty, the buyer, the seller? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So it's kind of a three-part answer on this one,
Okay.
even maybe a four-part answer. So the first thing I'll say is that a home warranty could be used when you're buying a home, or you
Mm-hmm.
could be a consumer. So the consumer, or not consumer, but already existing homeowner. So that's the first time. The buyer could pay for their own warranty, or the homeowner could pay for their own
Mm-hmm.
warranty. The second thing that can happen, and it actually we're into a market now where this can happen, the seller can pay for the warranty.
I'm seeing that. So times have changed a little bit now.
Yeah. Sometimes realtors will gift a home warranty as a part of their closing gift. I've seen
Mhm.
that as well.
Mhm.
Sometimes there's a lender who will give a lender credit towards home warranty. So that's why I said it's a multifaceted answer because there's a lot of times different options of who will pay. And sometimes the buyer and seller split the cost of the warranty. So it just really depends on each transaction of who would pay for the warranty.
Okay, yeah, and I know every transaction is a little bit different. I know one of the misnomers that I have come across, excuse me, I have certainly come across a time or two is that the buyer automatically assumes that the seller is going to take care of the home warranty. And it's like, no, I said it can certainly be something that can be discussed. It is a negotiable item, and it certainly plays a big part in the market that we're in, So I love having those conversations because those are things that you definitely hear out there from people who just don't know, which is a big reason why doing these podcasts makes all the difference in the world because we get to provide information to buyers and sellers who just have either been misinformed or they just don't know. So
Right.
thank you again for that. So moving on to the next question that I wanted to ask you is what are the misconceptions that you hear out there? I mean, like what's not so much as what you hear the most of, but just if it's like one or two things that you can think of, share that with us too.
S- Um, well, one of the misconceptions is that the home warranty covers every single thing in the home, and that every component to every system is covered. And
Hmm.
that's something I really like to make sure I educate people on why I spend so much time with agents buyers is I want to make sure they actually understand what the policy does, which
Okay.
is it is here to help you save money. And I
Hmm.
also like to let them know what it's covered for, like what exactly does this coverage mean. And so the biggest misconception is like, you know, every single thing is covered. And sometimes people also have the misconception that if I don't take care of the item, like meaning I don't maintenance the item, that it doesn't matter. I have a warranty, it'll just be covered.
Right.
And, those are the kinds of things when I deal with, especially first time home buyers, I really want them to understand, like, you do your part of taking care of the item so that it's breaking down due to normal wear and tear, not due to misuse or lack of maintenance.
Hmm.
So that's the first one. And then the second one, and this is this is a big one. And I think before working in warranty, I probably would have had this misconception myself, which is that warranties are here to save time.
Okay.
And I always say they're actually here to create a convenience, but most importantly, to be used as a financial tool of protecting your money. And they also the word warranty makes people not realize that it's an insurance policy.
Mm,
And so when you have an insurance policy, think about it. If you have a claim on your automobile, you don't get in the accident that very same day. And because you have insurance, tomorrow it's fixed, right?
right,
There's a
right,
claims adjuster. They come and they look at it, they get an estimate, they approve the claim, and then your vehicle is fixed. And so I really, really work hard to level set on that too. That this is to save you money. This is what that is. It's
right,
also a convenience because we vet out the providers for our homeowners. And so there is a convenience factor. You don't have to go out and try to find a decent provider that's going to be honest and take care of your item. And so
okay.
I think there's a convenience factor too. But those are kind of the two big misconceptions. And because you're a great real estate agent, I know you
Oh, thank
definitely would
you.
never, and I know you would
I
definitely
try.
never. Yeah, absolutely. I know you would never do this, but there's a big misconception on, I don't really need to get a home inspection, ah,
Oh, yeah, I've
because
heard
I'm
that
getting a
one.
warranty. I'm getting a
Right,
warranty. And sometimes, mistakenly, agents say, oh, don't worry about it. Even if it is broken on the home inspection, you're getting a warranty. It's fine. They'll cover
right.
it. And that's the one that's probably the most dangerous one
I
because it's
would completely
misinformation.
agree. Oh, absolutely. And I know I just as you say that, it just makes me think back about just being blessed to work with so many great clients, and buyers come to mind right now since I pretty much get this question a little bit more from buyers, and it comes down to, should I really get a home warranty since I have insurance? Does it make sense? And again, it's the conversation of, if it's a new build, we may have a different conversation. If
Mhm,
the appliances and so forth have been recently updated, repaired, then again, it's a different conversation. But I
mhm.
I always encourage buyers to get a home inspection and a home
Yes,
warranty. So,
yes.
again, ultimately, it is their decision. We are in the business of providing, educating, informing, and then crossing fingers and really encouraging clients to make the right decision. But all you can really do at the end of the day is give them the tools, and you give them the pros and cons of having them, and then ultimately they have to make the decision. So thank you for that.
Sure.
One of the other things that I wanted to ask you about is because in this business, in the real estate industry as a whole, we've all had some very unique experiences, to say the least. So, what would you say would be the worst scenario that you've ever come across in your line of business?
I've seen a lot of different situations that have been interesting, and I probably will write a book about it one day.
We probably both could.
Yes, I've met a lot of different personality types and
Uh-huh.
a lot of interesting things. Probably like the worst situation, and I'm going to tell you two quick ones if that's
Okay,
okay with
sure.
you.
Sure. No, we have time. Please do.
Okay, so the first one, because I was thinking about this in preparation for, our podcast today,
Mm-hmm.
I thought I would tell you two stories. So the first one, I had a buyer call me. They had a lot of questions about the warranty, and they were a first-time home buyer, younger guy, and I kept saying, "You really, really need to have this X coverage. It would be really helpful for you to have
Mm-hmm.
this. It will help you if you have a claim later. It's the kind of thing that covers the things that do create the annoying out-of-pocket
Mm-hmm.
costs." And it was really like a small difference, like $80 difference, right? And the buyer declined to do, what I had recommended, and I am not kidding you, a
I
month
already
and a
know where
half
this is
after
going.
close a month and a half after close, he calls me, he's like, "I kept your number, I'm so glad I did, the technician came out, and I just got the approval email. but I have $500 of out of pocket on this claim.
Mm.
And no, $550. And he said, and I just moved into this house. I don't have a lot of money. I don't, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I said, I know how frustrating it is. And I did
Mhm.
actually, based on my relationship with the agent, I did do something to help the client alleviate a little bit of the cost.
Oh, good for
How
you.
Yeah, because things happen, right?
Yeah,
And I felt
absolutely.
so bad for this guy. He was just so, and he was the one who said it. He goes, "Is this something that $80 would have alleviated?"
Right.
And I was like, "I didn't want to tell you that because I know you're
Yeah. It's like in
still upset."
hindsight, he was probably kicking himself for not, not getting it.
Yeah, and I said, "Please, when you renew your policy, make sure to add this coverage." And he goes, "I couldn't
Mhm.
forget this now." So that that was the first one, I thought life lesson here, I should have been more persistent with him and just said, "Look, I've had this experience. I've
Right.
seen this. Please, I am the professional. I am not trying to upsell you. I'm doing this because I know it will help you." So it taught me a
Yeah.
lesson.
And I think too, kind of touching on that for a second, just and I get it. We've both been on the other side of the transaction when we're working with someone, they're giving us information. We're not
Mhm,
sure the motive behind it. We're not sure, is this an upsell? Is this something you're doing because of a commission? What is this for? Is this really to benefit me? And I
mhm,
think that's one of the things that, just kind of going back to the point I made earlier, that's the business that we're in, is to help our clients to understand what they may not understand. And sometimes that's just going that extra step, providing them information that they just don't otherwise know. And when you start talking about savings or just money that you're going to end up or possibly end up spending should, appliance break down or something major, and you
mhm.
don't have that home warranty, you're going to be spending a lot of money versus a nominal monthly fee to cover that in a home warranty. So
Absolutely.
I completely get it. But I didn't want to cut you off. I just happened to be
Oh,
thinking about that. So yeah, please go on with your second story.
sure. No, I really appreciate you adding that insight into it. It's very true. And that was part of the lesson is that I know I'm coming from a place of love and like a
Mm-hmm.
place of concern for
Right.
and how can I better convey this so I can better serve my client and feel more confident in saying, "Hey, like really this is important." So it's a good learning lesson, but I felt really bad. That
Absolutely.
was that was one of them. I was like, "Oh, man." Um so the other one is kind of well, it wasn't that funny of a story at the time, but in hindsight, it's funny.
Yeah.
So I received a call from an agent I do a lot of business with, and they're like very upset. Your company is not covering my client's AC unit. Um, we had a home inspection and everything was fine. This is an unreasonable denial. I mean, the riot act. And I was like, oh my
It's like, what do you
goodness.
say to that?
Yeah, I know. Well, my first thing is I'm really sorry that your client is feeling
Right.
frustrated because I know how that is. So, of course, I want to show some of the empathy I have for that real estate agent and for their
Mm-hmm.
client.
Right.
Um, Second, I say, okay, tell me a little bit more detail. And also, please give me a moment to research this. And I may actually need to call you back because I may not know all of the answers right now, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely let me look into it. So I looked into it and I start reading through the notes. And boy, it was like a whole can of worms opened up
Oh, wow.
and they all came crawling out, right? Well, what had happened, the unit was in good working order. I looked at the inspection report, it was fine. The homeowner wanted a brand new AC unit, so they
Oh.
damaged their AC unit and they hit their AC unit, who knows with what, so many times that it destroyed all of the fins on the compressor. And that's where the airflow goes. The unit was not salvageable, at least an exterior unit. And,
Now that's
you
an
know,
unusual one. I don't know if I've heard that one before. This was purposely damaged?
he
Am
ended
I
up,
understanding correctly?
yeah, it was
Oh,
purposefully
wow.
damaged. So just like in any insurance policy, that's fraud.
Mhm.
Um, but of course, we didn't like report them for fraud. But ultimately, the homeowner admitted it, I think, to the technician
Okay.
that this is a
That was
bad
my
unit.
next question. How did you find out that they
Well, that's
did it on purpose?
yeah. So this unit is bad, and the homeowner became aggressive with the technician. So the
Oh,
technician was already feeling a little bit uncomfortable, but the
right.
homeowner was like, "Well, it wasn't working, so I thought if I took this thing and like hit it, it would like start back up."
So now let me make
They
sure that
admitted it.
I was just gonna say, let me make sure that I'm following. So at the end of this, obviously there was, and I would think, a significant cost associated with this repair that the home warranty was not going to cover.
No, we wouldn't cover that. Would definitely be
Yeah.
something
So
and
it was going
nobody
to
would
be an
cover.
out-of-pocket expense. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, what
nobody
was he
would ever cover
thinking?
that. Yeah, well, and like an average for the damage that was done,
Hmm.
I mean, you're looking at, depending on who's gonna fix it for you,
Right.
2,500 to
I was just gonna say
5,000.
that's in the thousands for sure. That's not in the
Mhm.
hundreds. Wow.
But
Well,
that
that's
was
a
probably
hard
the worst
lesson.
one.
Well,
Well,
I'm
then
sure you've seen a lot too.
yeah. Yeah, I've never had any fraud like that before, but the hardest part was to go back to the agent
Yeah.
and explain to them that their client actually physically damaged the item, and that was the reason for the
Yeah, and the
denial.
agent had to
You
be put in a pretty awkward position too, I would think, in that
you know,
case,
yeah,
representing the buyer.
at first when like had read me the riot act, it's an agent I do a lot of. When I say that, they weren't
Okay.
reading it to me, they were just
Okay.
upset for their client, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I really believe that when you have partners that help you with your business, you have to
Hmm.
know them and trust them. And so I think we had that kind of a relationship that when I finally explained what had happened, I think the agent was most likely a little more upset with the client than
Oh, for sure.
with us,
I would think so. Yeah, I would
So
think
yeah,
so. And actually and I should have clarified that. That's what I meant when I said, being put in an awkward position. I would
yeah,
think that agent would have definitely felt a certain way with their client for putting them in that position. But good thing
yes,
that you guys had a great relationship, and in this business you do have to have great working relationships where you
yeah,
can, it's a team effort. At the end of the day, you're working to resolve an issue for your mutual clients. So good.
absolutely.
Well, I'm glad that you shared all of that. I'm not glad to hear that you had that experience, but every experience is a teachable moment, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So now with that, I didn't really have anything else that I wanted to cover with you, but is there anything that you would like to share for those that, again, who might be looking to sell or purchase a home? Just any input in your experience that you would like to share with them?
Sure. Well, I'd love to share maybe one really good story.
Okay, that sounds great. I'd love to hear it.
I had a lender that purchased a new home, and so they went through my company, and ultimately they had a very large issue with the AC, but like way after the house was purchased. It was like 2 years into it, and we were able to save that homeowner around
Ooh,
$5,000. And so
that's a big savings.
yeah, that was one of my biggest ones. I definitely felt really like the lender slash homeowner was just like, I'm so thankful.
I'm
Single
sure. I'm
mom,
sure.
like she's a single parent, and she just was like, yes, I know I make a good living, but like to come up with that much money all
Hmm.
at one time would have still even been difficult. And I just thought, wow, how exciting. Like I'm so
Yeah.
happy So
Yeah.
it's those kind of things that make me really love my job. Like it just feels really good to know that we're able to actually help people and to see it. So that was a
Yeah.
really good one. I will let you know. You mentioned about all the appliances have been replaced
Mhm.
or it's a new build.
Mhm.
Um, Now, first and foremost, I'm going to be biased. I'm an insurance person. Have been in this business. I have a lot of experience, not just in warranty, but I've
Mhm.
been in actually like homeowners insurance, life insurance. I've done insurance over the years, so I'm probably
Right.
one of
So you're
those.
coming from a good background, solid background.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
and I probably might have more insurance than the average Joe just because,
Mhm.
you see enough, you buy the policies.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but I will let you know that we do offer new construction policies. So
Good to
even if it is
know.
a new build,
Yeah.
it's still actually not a bad idea to get a warranty. In fact,
Mhm.
I bought a new build this year and I absolutely have a warranty on it. The appliances, probably they're not gonna break down,
Mhm.
that's not the issue that you worry
Right.
about, but, you know, you can still have
Just never can be too sure, never can be too careful.
yeah, you can still have a
Yeah.
plumbing issue, you can still have an electrical issue, and
Right.
after that 1 year that you have your new build, you don't have a
Mhm.
builder warranty any longer,
Right.
and and
Absolutely, that's right.
so and I know that all builders intend for your house to be in perfect shape, much
Forever. Right.
forever, but it has
Right.
happened in my
Right.
experience that even an AC I've known to have
Mhm.
broken down on a new build in year
Right.
2.
Yeah, and you know
Um,
what? Things do definitely happen, new build or whether the appliances have been upgraded before the sale recently. And one of the things so I'm glad that you mentioned that because one of the things that I do in addition to some of the things that I already shared with you, when I'm talking to my clients, it's providing all of the information and giving them the actual information, but I even go a step further. I put them in contact with that expert. And then that way they get to ask the questions. They get to see, is this really a good fit for me? Is it a matter of, am I going to save this money now or am I going to save it later? And that's really what it comes down to. It's
Mhm,
where is the savings going to come in at? You can cross your fingers and hope and pray that nothing ever breaks down, but you can't think like that. It's just a matter of being responsible and realistic, but again, just asking the right questions and getting all the information and all the tools that you need. So like I said, that's
mhm.
what we tag team for. That's what we are here to help our clients with. So thank you
Very true.
so much, Heather. I appreciate that.
So I'll tell you another thing that I think is
Sure.
really important. Well, it's going to be two items.
Okay.
Another thing that's really important for people to know, and it's along this very same topic, is that even when you have an oven or a stove or a water heater
Hmm.
or whatever the item is, even though they may have a manufacturer's warranty, it doesn't, many times, does not include labor.
Okay.
So the part is covered,
Hmm.
but the labor is something you typically as a consumer will end up paying out of
Paying out of
pocket.
pocket. Yeah.
So when you have a warranty in place, the warranty will coordinate with the manufacturer. They'll get you an original manufacturer,
Hmm.
like an OEM, original equipment manufacturer part, but you don't have to pay the labor. That's what the warranty picks up for you.
Okay.
So that's like, what if you have a refrigerator that, and this happens, unfortunately, breaks down, the ice maker breaks down year one. I've seen
Hmm.
it happen more
Oh
times
yeah,
than it should.
definitely. I have as well.
And it's like, okay, so they'll send you the part to fix the ice maker, but who's going to install it? And
Right.
you usually have to pay that out of pocket. So that's one part of warranty coordination that people don't
Okay.
really know, and it's important. The second part of it is the coordination and how it complements your homeowner's insurance. So, for example, let's just say, and this happens in many homes in Arizona, the hot water heater is like in a closet.
Mhm.
It's not out in the garage.
Right.
What happens? You go out of town, you come back. the thing leaked, there's water everywhere, it's
I'm
broken.
envisioning that right now. It's not a good picture.
You're not happy. So now
No.
you call you got, there's going to be some work here. So you're going to call your
Mhm.
homeowner's insurance. You know what they're going to fix for you is that water damage. They're going to fix that for you. They're going to do the mold remediation.
Mhm.
But what they don't cover is the actual item. So, what I mean is the homeowner's insurance doesn't replace your water heater when it breaks down due to normal wear and tear. Now, they will cover your items if it was like, say, an act of God, like lightning struck your AC unit
Mhm.
or what have you, but they don't cover it simply because it broke down. So, in that scenario, if you had a warranty, they would really work hand in hand. Your warranty can help you with the replacement of the broken down water heater, and your homeowners will fix the damage that that did.
Okay, so you're covered on both ends.
Yes.
Okay.
And the last thing I'll tell you is you do not have
Mhm.
to be buying a home in order to have a warranty.
Mhm.
You could have a home and you could have been in that home for 10 years. And actually, you probably might need the warranty more than the person just buying the home, but that's my
Mhm.
own personal opinion. So I always tell people this.
Well, no, and I'm glad that you shared that because, like I said, we can almost put people in certain boxes in terms of their knowledge and experience, and so many people just don't think about, I've owned my home for X number of years. Maybe I should consider a home warranty if I don't currently have one. So again, that's great information to share, and I appreciate that. Well,
Awesome.
listen, as much as I appreciate having you on here, I do want to respect your time. And again, thank you just for providing so much great information. And I am certain that our viewers will get a lot of information, not information, but find this very beneficial to them. So just share with our listeners how they can reach you, give your contact information if they have questions.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again very, very much
You're so
for
welcome.
allowing me the opportunity to have a spot on your podcast. I feel very honored and thank you for that.
Well, thank
If
you.
anybody were to ever have any questions about how to get a hold of me, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram, both under Heather Darren. I do respond to direct messages, so that's easy, Heather Darren. You can call me on my telephone. It is 517. Sorry, I should say cell phone. I live in Arizona, but I have a Michigan number. My phone number again, it's 517-256-7723. 517-256-7723. And that is text message. That's probably the most easy way to get a hold of me. And I do answer my phone after 5 and on weekends. So
Say 7 days a week.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
I'm
work
with
when you
you.
work, Michelle.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I always say open always, and that's typically the case depending upon a client's needs. So I do understand what you mean by that. Well, again, thank you. And if I can have you hang on for just a few more minutes, one of the things that I like to do at the end of the podcast is not only thank those that have taken time out to watch the video and listen to the audio, but also just kind of leave you with a tip for the day, something that I hope that will inspire you. And today it's all about motivation. Motivation to just get out there, do something different, whatever it is you've been putting off. Don't put it off anymore because tomorrow is not promised. And even if you don't have any other cheerleaders, be your own cheerleader. Look out for yourself, be good to yourself, and just go out there and just do it. Just live. And
Mhm.
you never know who's watching you. Somebody else could be having that same struggle of, getting out, getting up and just doing it. And so they could be watching you. So you never know who you're inspiring. And so with that, have a great day.
Thank you for tuning into the Real About Real Estate podcast with Michelle Hayward. Like, follow, and subscribe to continue to get the real about real estate.